Disappointing defeat to Arbroath this afternoon. What was your thoughts?
Yeah, bitterly disappointing. I felt that obviously we controlled the game in the first half, but we seem to keep shooting ourselves in the foot. You know, that wee turnover in midfield, and before you know it, it's in the back of our net. The second goal as well, avoidable. You know, we've got plenty of bodies behind the box, but as soon as it goes into the striker's feet, we need to be around the ball, and it was a wonderful strike for the second one. And the third one, you know, we stopped play. Big Reece felt it was a free kick. I've always been taught you could play to the whistle, and once you got put through, it was just a matter of squaring it, and it was in the back of the net. But that time we were chasing the game, and you always leave yourself open to that. But in terms of the first half, dominated the game, but we need to be more cutting. You know, when we're passing through the lines, we keep coming back on ourselves. We've done all our work, and we need to get in the top half of the pitch and, you know, start working their goalkeeper, and even mixing our game up a little bit over the top and switching it up and switching our game. You know, it was all too pedestrian and in front of them. But in terms of ball possession and controlling the game, I felt we were a better team. But we always get done with a sucker punch, take nothing away from Arbroath. I felt they deserved the victory. They're a very hard team to play against. There's a real spirit amongst them. And they've got one or two players, don't be kidding, they mix their game up very well. When it's on to pass it, they pass it, but when it's on to get the ball in the box, it goes in the box. When it's on to hit the channel, they hit the channel. And lo and behold, they've got someone running to chase it and work it. So we can take a lot from Arbroath's game and see if we can add it to ours and be better for it.
You've mentioned in previous interviews regarding conceding early goals and giving us a mountain to climb, so you must have been frustrated again today.
Unbelievable, so avoidable. But what can you do? You know, you can just, I've got great belief in them. I really have. I've got a great belief in them. I'm seeing a lot of good stuff that we're doing on the training pitch, but it comes match day, we seem to, you know, keep shooting ourselves in the foot, and, you know, to concede that first goal, it was avoidable. And I'm not talking about Reece scoring an own goal, I'm talking about further up the pitch. I think we got muscled in midfield, which is going to happen. But your mate has to be there, you know, you have to go in packs and ones and twos and get about the ball. We were very, very poor at that, you know, in terms of the transition. And when we turn it over, we need to get there quicker and better. Once again, I think you'll see when we go to the 4-4-2 and we've got the two up front, it turns into a basketball match where, you know, we leave ourselves wide open. But once again, effort and commitment, not in question in terms of quality, and a little bit of nous and know-how and streetwise and knowing when to be, and the fundamentals, head it big, hook it big, chase it, bump people, get on the settings, buy a free kick. We are miles off it. We're like an amateur team when it comes to all the fundamentals, everything that you need to have in your locker, you know, to win a football match, because they add up. It's percentages and they add up, and if you're doing that better than the other team, then it takes you where you want to go. Second half we had a go, asked them at half time, don't feel sorry for yourself, make sure we go out and win the second half. We had a real go, more of a go the second half, and that's just mixing our game up a little bit, you know, playing a little bit longer, up to McCann on a diagonal, and that's what we have to do, you know. What we try and coach is not set in stone, and we don't try and give them too much information. I want them to go and play their own game. That's why I believe in them and trust them, but we were second best today, and not in terms of ball possession, but in terms of the fundamentals of football and the know-how and getting bossed and bullied a little bit, we were second best.
You mentioned from the minute you walked through the door that there was going to be bumps in the road, there was going to be ups and downs. Today's just one of those that we need to take the positives from and try and implement that going forward.
Well, I've says after the game, if the fans are looking at me and say, I wonder what he says after the game. What I says after the game, they're giving me everything that they've got. I feel at times come a Saturday there's a little bit apprehension and tension in their play. You know, that's not a skill set, that's a mental mindset. What I says to them after the game is, the game owes you nothing. The game owes you nothing. As soon as you think as a footballer, the game owes you, then it's a recipe for disaster. The game owes you nothing. Anything you get out of football, you're prepared to put it in. Mentally, physically, tactically, you have to make sure that you're the one that's putting it in terms of hard work, working harder than your opponent, getting one over in your opponent, making sure he knows he doesn't play, and if you're having a bad game, he doesn't play. He doesn't influence the game, and then if you can influence the game, all the better. That is the fundamentals of football. We're just a little bit short, and it's helping your teammate as well. You know, in terms of the distances, if your mate's out there, I'll go and do that. And putting your, really giving everything you've got in terms of 100%, and at times not have to be pretty. That's what I'm basically, you know, the game was, you know, it doesn't always have to be pretty, but I love doing the ugly. I really, really embrace doing the ugly side of football, and that's the fundamentals, and we're just a little bit short on that. That's a little bit, listen, if I'm playing a centre half and it hooks and I hook it, and I hook a big one, I'm expecting my centre forward to go and knock the opposite centre half on his backside. And if he doesn't, and it falls down there, I'm expecting my midfielder to be up on the seconds. That's the kind of scenarios and the wee fundamentals that we need to be better at. All the dirty stuff, all the streetwise stuff in football, it's just a wee bit too pretty. And then, when it is a wee bit too pretty, we need to mix it up a little bit.
Let's look ahead to Wednesday's game against Inverness, a team that we know we could beat just a few short weeks ago, so we must be going into that one with a little bit of confidence.
Well, it's a quick turnaround. I'm actually concerned with the goals that we're conceding. I felt we had shut that back door, but when you look back at the Queen of the South, real soft goals, and when you look back today, real soft goals, although the third one is, you know, it's one of them and you're chasing it. It's avoidable, but you're chasing it. So I'm looking at that, and then, you know, I felt that we could have changed the shape a little bit in terms of, you know, one up, one off, with a one-off coming back in the midfield, because I feel the two midfielders need a hand. We're going to have to sit down and come up with a system of play that really keeps the back door shut and be hard to beat, because we're up against an Inverness side. Albeit we beat them 2-1, they were a better football side. But saying that, come Wednesday, if it's the same, we'll take it. We need to get back to winning ways. I'll say this to you and the supporters, we're under no illusions whatsoever. We're in a dogfight, how hard it's going to be. We need to realise that quicker rather than later, and we need to be the best team in this league at doing all the fundamental stuff, rolling your sleeves up, getting stuck in, and the football breaks out. If we do that, we'll win more games than we'll lose. For the minute I walk through the door, I want to win every football match. I think the players are capable of doing that. We're just underperforming, feeling a little bit sorry for ourselves, you know, thinking that the game owes us a little bit. And I get that, you know, thinking that let's get that, put that in the bucket, let's get together, get the sleeves up, show a bit of real spirit, get the fundamental right, be brilliant at it, and then the rest will take care of itself. So from now on in, if we do that, every team we play against will know they've been in a game. It was 3-0 today. That wasn't really the picture of the whole game. I felt we dominated the ball for long periods, especially in the first half, with no cutting edge. We need more of a cutting edge.